No words. No words. What is going on, Raider Nation? Raider Primo back again with a recap. Well, we're gonna have a short recap show. We'll have our actual recap show tomorrow. But today, man, I just had to come on because the records that Jim Nance and Tony Romo were bringing up, the stats that they were bringing up, just embarrassing. Embarrassing. I'm going to read off the stats here for you guys that they were referring to, and it is the team stats for the Raiders. 3 first downs that they picked up to 30 that the Chiefs picked up. Third down efficiency, they were 0 for 7. Total plays ran, the Raiders ran 30. Total yards, the Raiders had 95 yards. They had 95 yards of total yards on the offense. And the last team to pick up 3 first downs in a game was the 2008 Oakland Raiders. They did it against the Atlanta Falcons, where they only picked up 3 first downs. This organization cannot get away from just mediocrity. Mediocrity. Just when you think this season can't get worse, it gets worse. Salute to Elite Guys. Salute to CGR coming in the building. You guys on the way in, hit them likes, hit that bell, and also hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I know you guys are already subscribed, but share that link around. Share that link around because we are going to have a quick live. I am going to be going live with Jay Raider at 2 o'clock discussing this game. I decided to just go live for just a bit before I hop on his platform and we start cooking this team, because that's what really we're going to do. We're going to deep fry. Yes, League Guy talking about Bell from the start. From the start. And you thought, okay, maybe there might be a little fight. You have Raheem Mostert come on, a little nice return, getting past the 30-yard line. And the offense just goes stagnant. The offense cannot move the football. First drive of the game was only 5 plays, 16 yards, and we only had the ball for 3 minutes, 16 seconds. Raheem Mostert had a 37-yard return. Genty, 3 yards. Geno Smith, 10 yards. It seemed like it was going 3-yard pass, incompletion, 10-yard penalty, which penalties killed the Raiders today. And then another 10-yard pass, but the penalty put us back. We had to punt the football. And then from there, another record that, well, not really a record, but the Mahomes and Andy Reid for the first time, well, together, 3 consecutive touchdowns of 80-plus yards. The first touchdown drive, the Chiefs had 9 plays, 92 yards. Second touchdown drive, 17 plays, 84 yards. Third touchdown drive, 16 plays, 94 yards. This Raiders defense did not show up today. The entire team, let's call it what it is, the entire team didn't show up today. They should, Van City. They should. And we'll bring it up. I can't show it to you guys. I'll bring up I'll have it play over my phone and play it into the microphone. That way you guys can hear it. But an embarrassing from offense, defense. Like, I can't even put special teams on there because special teams, they didn't really do anything because they were just punting the football away. Carlson didn't even attempt a field goal, you guys. Like, did we even get across the 50? Can you guys answer me that? Did we even get across the 50-yard line? Was this another Saints game? Was this another Saints game that we did not even get across the 50-yard line? It's embarrassing, you guys. For the stats, Geno Smith, 10 for 16, 67 yards. Got sacked 1 time. Kenny Pickett was in 2 for 2, 8 yards. He did have a fumble loss, fumble the snap. Ashton Jeanty, 6 carries for 21 yards. Dylan Labe, 2 carries, 3 yards. Trey Tucker still having himself decent season, being the one bright spot in that wide receiver room. 5 catches for 33 yards on 6 targets. But the Chiefs, you guys, just had their way. Look at the offensive stat line. Patrick Mahomes, 26 for 35, 286, 3 touchdowns, was sacked only once. Isaiah Pacheco, 15 carries, 57 yards, 1 touchdown. Travis Kelce, 3 catches for 54 yards. Rashee Rice, what a homecoming he had. 7 catches on 10 targets, 42 yards, but had 2 touchdowns to go with that. And Hollywood Brown, 2 catches, 14 yards, also joining the touchdown montage. You guys, the Chiefs had, this is what I keep telling you guys. I cannot say that the Raiders are going to beat the Chiefs because then you have games like this. You have games like this. People are like, oh, we play the Chiefs tough. I don't give a fuck. When did we beat them? This is why I cannot say the Raiders will ever beat the Chiefs at all. Not next season, not the season after that, not even this season. I said we were going to get swept by the Chiefs because the Raiders cannot prove to the nation, to everyone, that they can hang with the Chiefs. They cannot hang with the Chiefs. I'm sorry, nation. I'm sorry that you guys got to hear it, but you guys got to hear it, and now y'all just witnessed it. The Raiders cannot hang with the Chiefs. Yeah, exactly. Embarrassing. 3 first downs. In the second half, Bleak Eye, as worse as it sounds, they didn't even try to put points up on the scoreboard. You're right, Bleak Eye. In the second half, they only I think they had, after that fumble, they didn't even kick the field goal, right? They just ran it on 4th down, gave the ball back to the Raiders, and then stopped them again. Like, the Chiefs were like, the Chiefs were like, okay, we're gonna take it easy. They could have they could have blew us out, Leak Eye, worse than 31 is it. It was not a 31-0 game. This is more like belt. Yes, Leak Eye, belt to ass, bro. Surely, talk that shit, bro. Raiders can't beat a high school team. They suck on defense and offense. They can't. They can't. Shout out to the GOAT Ninth. He was on Instagram. He was there at the game, and he said that the Chiefs look like they're playing a college team out there. That's crazy. I don't even think the Raiders can beat a college team the way they're playing. I'm gonna see if the presser is on yet. Are they not gonna have the presser? Or they got the post game show thingy? I don't even want to watch that post game show. Because here's the thing, media is not gonna ask Pete Carroll the hard hitting questions. I want to ask you guys this: why was JPJ benched but not the rest of the starters? Why was JPJ benched but not the rest of the starters until the next following drive? That's when they finally took the rest of the starters out. But why was JPJ benched before everybody else? That's my question. Pete Carroll, do you have such a big ego that it is your way or no way, that you're going to keep Geno Smith in there when he can't even throw 20 yards down the field because you're afraid of him throwing an interception? And it was crazy because there was times he still should have threw an interception, still throwing it into triple coverage, still throwing it into double coverage, still missing open receivers like Jack Bech and Trey Tucker on the other side of the field. Why do we still have this guy in after getting blown out? You already lost, Pete Carroll. You already lost. Why keep Geno Smith in? But no, we're going to take JPJ out for what? For what? To put Alex Kappa in? Just to draw another penalty? This coaching staff is making no sense. No sense, you guys. The decisions, it is week fucking 7, you guys. Or it's week 7, right? Week 7 or 6? It's week 7. Yeah, week 7. What? It is week 7, and this team still looks like they have no idea how how to fucking play. What's their identity? They have no identity. The coaches don't know how to coach. The players don't know what the fuck they're doing out there. These players are just showing up to get a paycheck at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you guys can say, well, Max Crosby got injured. Jacoby Myers wasn't out there. Brock Bowers wasn't out there. Bro, I'm not giving any excuses to Pete Carroll because it didn't matter who you marched out there. They could have been active, and we still would have got blown out. This team, once again, like I said against Indianapolis, they look like they didn't even show up. They didn't even show up. Axel Raider, I'll give the Raiders credit. They made it memorable. They made it memorable for the Chiefs. They made it memorable for the Chiefs, but not for Raider Nation. This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. 10 of 16 from Geno Smith, you guys. Like, he is so bad that Chip Kelly doesn't even want to pass the football. I know we're blaming Chip Kelly, you guys, but he does not want to pass the football down the field because of his quarterback. It's diabolical, you guys. And I know people want to blame Chip Kelly for the offensive play calling. I'll blame him on not running the football. I'll give him that. I will give him that. I will give him that. That he doesn't want to throw the football down the field, but you got to run the football then. You got to give it to Genty, Chip Kelly. If you do not trust your quarterback, Chip Kelly, give the ball to Ashton Genty then. And Genty only had 6 carries. He touched the football 7 times. 7 times, Chip Kelly. At one point, at what point is this coaching staff going to get their heads out of their asses, bench Geno Smith, put in Kenny Pickett because it can't get any worse, even though I know he fumbled the snap. It can't. I just don't know. Axel, I've been supportive of Pete, but him benching JPJ have given me pause for a thought. Dude, it made me question. When they called Alex Kappa's number for a penalty, I'm like, wait, what is Alex Kappa doing out there? Because the rest of the starters were out there, right? JPJ was not out there. JPJ was benched before every other starter. Before Geno, before Genty, before Trey, before Thornton, before Besh, before Michael Mayer. JPJ was benched before everybody else. Why was that, Pete Carroll? Why not bench the entire offense? Axel, that's right. Chip is terrified to let Geno go deep, and I don't blame him. I don't either. I think Chip Kelly's hands are tied. I'm not saying he gets a pass. I'm not saying he gets a pass because, like I said, he's not running the football. It's like he doesn't know what to do out there. I get it, Chip. You don't know what to call. I get it. But give the football to your 6th overall pick. Axel, it's too late for that. It's week 7, bro. It's week 7. It's week 7. I got people hitting me up about this Raiders loss. It's week 7, Axel. We've been saying this since training camp. I've been saying this since training camp. Many others have been saying this since training camp. That why was JPJ competing for the right guard position? Why is he not a lock at the center position? Why is Meredith not a lock at the left guard position? Why is Parham not a lock at the right guard position? Why is there this shuffling at the offensive line? Let me see if there's a pressure going on, you guys. I want to know if there's a presser. Let me see if there's a presser. Yeah, there is a presser.
We had prepared.
Pete Carroll at the podium, you guys. Pete Carroll at the podium. Turn my phone off.
I can't imagine. I couldn't imagine that the guys that weren't able to play in this game.
Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear.
I just didn't feel that in our preparation, but they're a terrific team. They did everything like they do, and they played really well in all phases and kept us totally at bay. We couldn't make a first down and couldn't get off the field, and they just did like they do, and so. When we have a lot of work to do, and we have a lot of catching up to do, and we got to get our guys back. The key guys that missed the game are key guys on our football team, and we weren't able to overcome that. And it seems like there was a factor in there. We were trying our ass off to get first downs and trying to get off the field. They had a bunch of third and I don't know, maybe half dozen third and threes or less, and they converted most all of those. And it just keeps them out there and keeps all those good players having another shot at you. And we needed to play differently to have that chance. And so today, so this is, to me, this is not like the statement of whatever. This is just we got to realize what we're up against, and we got to get our guys back, and we got to play the game well, and we have to get back on track.
In that first quarter, Ashton got one pair. The first quarter, understand that the Chiefs had a lot of plays, obviously a lot of prolonged drives. But when Ashton J, especially on the day where you missed a couple of games, when Ashton J carries the ball one time in the first quarter, 4 total in the first half. No, I understand.
No, help me out on that.
It was
Okay, so we had the ball 10 snaps in the first quarter because we couldn't make first down, we couldn't stop them. So it's just not one thing. Like we came into this game really wanting to run the football, figuring that would be a key element of this makeup of this game, but we just couldn't get there. And we didn't change our mind about that at all. We didn't miss that thought. We just couldn't get in charge of the down the distance well enough. It wasn't what they were doing on the other side, but other than the fact we didn't have the ball very long. So it just was a storm. They're doing everything they can to keep the ball moving, and we miss our opportunities. And all of a sudden, like you said, there's 10 plays in the first quarter, and we're out of luck on getting the rhythm we wanted.
You guys have scored 6 or fewer points in 2 of the last 3 games. What do you see is the biggest issue there? Just this lack of continuity all around? Just what's been the biggest issue?
Yeah, it feels like we're not finding the plays that we need, to chunk in between the routine part of the approach where we're throwing the ball underneath, we're getting some completions, we're running the football, but the chunk plays don't seem to be appearing for us, and that makes a difference, and you look at their first drive and he scrambles around, and I think it's Kelsey he finds in front of their bench. That's a huge play. Typical play for them, but it's those kinds of plays that change the field position. They had a reverse in another sequence, that gets them 25, 30 yards. It's those chunk plays that change the rhythm of the drive, and those just have gone quiet for us. And when we play really well on the other side of the ball, like last week, it wasn't apparent, but it's still, we were not really making the big plays last week either. So it just depends on how the game goes, and keep picking this one apart. That's what you guys do. You gotta do it.
Is there do you feel like when the lack of big plays, is that more of a play calling thing or just how defense are playing? You guys kind of what's
it's we would like to call some plays that would get to give those ups, but we did try some, and sometimes they're not there. We take the completions, we keep going. We're thinking to play in this game against a really good club, we were going to have to hold the football and make sure that we made first downs and moved it and used the clock. The clock went the opposite way, and much to their value and what they could do on offense.
How much would you attribute the lack of success or keeping their drives going through the penalties that raised?
Yeah, but we didn't we have a couple third down stops when we go back out there as first down? Well, those are huge plays in the game, they're 8 points worth of the first 14 probably, and maybe they kick a field goal, and so those were huge, and also the first in penalties that we had first and 20, I don't know, 3 or 4 times it seemed like, and those are really hard to overcome against a good club, and so when you add all that up, it's a storm like we saw today, and unfortunately it's hard to take. What did happen, and what was clear to me, was the mentality of these guys trying to fight their way back into this opportunity to try to get something going, whether it was at halftime when we talked about we need to get one score and get moving, we need to get one stop and get moving. Throughout the game, and if you talk to the defensive guys, you'll hear them. They were in it the whole time. They're trying to get the ball the whole time. And wasn't there 3 or 4 opportunities where the ball was in our hands and bouncing around? I mean, those are the plays that you make in a game that gives you the chance, the momentum shift, and all that. I mean, that's nothing. reinventing the wheel here, but we need to capitalize on those moments in particular against a really good club like this that plays really good football.
You were missing a couple of players coming in, but you lost some. Can you talk about the impact of those injuries, especially Max Crosby?
Yeah, well, Max has had a bit of a sore knee, and it just I don't know how it happened today in the game early, but he wasn't his full self, but he could play, and he wanted to be in there, and he wasn't. But then we had to yank him, because he just didn't look right. Somehow Adam Butler, his back just spasmed up in pregame, and he couldn't play. Jacoby, we worked him out, tried to get him out there, and he couldn't go. He wasn't quite right, and so. That's a lot of really good players, and we need everyone we can get, and so it was hard anyway. But there's a lot of other things that happened as well.
Was JPJ hurt? I just noticed he came out.
No, we took him out.
Okay.
Give Alex a shot.
And then when at 2-5, Pete, coming into a bye week, do you switch attention more for future, maybe looking at younger players, or is your focus still totally 2025?
We've always done that, and we've always given the younger guys some extra opportunities in these practices because they've missed opportunities, and so we've always done that. But we're moving ahead. This is the next game coming up is huge to us, and so we'll be preparing for that simultaneously.
What did you feel the issue, the fact that the penalties on some of the spare downs defensively, just overall the defensive issues and not being able to get from?
Yeah, they executed really well with the short passing game, and were able to get catch and fall forward, make the first, and they weren't very long. We didn't have them in long situations, so that allows you to throw the quick rhythm passing stuff and get 5 and 6 yards, and it's a conversion. And they were able to do that. You saw us. We jumped up after we saw what was happening, and we made a couple of adjustments, and Patrick made a couple of calls. We had the balls hit our guys, and they threw right at us. We banged them off us, and those were the same concepts that were working earlier. So we found some ways to get those stopped, but we didn't capitalize on them like we needed to in a game like this.
Talk about, the potency of Kansas City's offense, especially with Rashee Rice coming back.
Yeah, I mean, they have, like I said earlier, they have so many good players in that position that you can't tell which one from the other. They're all good. They're all fast. They're shifty. They're explosive. They make things happen. So I know that they tried to get him a play in their special play down. I think it was down by the goal or something like that. But they're all good. Every one of those guys are good. And you put Kelsey in the middle of all that stuff. It's a hard group to deal with.
Pete, when Geno,
Excuse me, I would think that teams facing them coming up better be ready. It's a very, very good looking football team today.
when Geno has had his most success, it's play action, it's under center, and there's been a lot with him in the gun. Would you like to maybe see it adjust more to?
We're doing that, Hundo. That's in the game plan. We didn't get a place today. We're already in there. Yeah, I believe in that too. We're on the same page.
That's good.
Thank you, Pete.
All right, so Pete Carroll now has
Excuses,
Jack-
excuses. We didn't have enough plays, you guys. We didn't have enough plays for Geno to run the play action. We didn't have enough plays for Genty to get the ball going. Excuses, Pete Carroll. Yes, you only had 10 plays ran in the first quarter, but you did not run the football enough. You said you wanted to run the football, and Genty only had one carry in the first quarter. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. What are you talking about here? We didn't have enough plays to run. Yes, Kansas City was killing the clock, but you never got a rhythm going. What are you talking about? We didn't have enough plays to run Genty. We didn't have enough plays. We wanted Geno to be under center, run the play action, but there just wasn't enough plays. What are you talking about? Take him out of the gun then. Tell Chip, you are the head coach, Pete Carroll. Tell Chip Kelly we want to run Geno under center and run the play action passing game. Simple. And you guys heard what he said about JPJ? They took him out. He's not injured. They took him out before every other starter on the offense. This coaching staff, man. This coaching staff, bro, what is in the waters of Las Vegas that these guys look like they don't know what they're doing? We're talking about a Hall of Fame head coach. We're talking about an offensive coordinator that's coming off a national championship win. Patrick Graham going into what, his 4th, 5th season with as the Raiders defensive coordinator. We want a stability, right? But for whatever reason, this defense looks worse than in the past. Not saying it looks great under Patrick Graham, but it's gotten significantly worse. Oh, still leaving the middle of the field open. Pete Carroll, you want to answer on how the Chiefs were just dominating the short passing game? Over the middle of the field. But that's not something you should be surprised by, Pete Carroll, because your defense has been letting the middle of the field wide open since the beginning of this year, since last season, since Patrick Graham has gotten into the building. And you're not adjusting to your mistakes. Again, Pete Carroll, it is your way or no way. Even if your way is not working, you still will die on that island with Dino Smith, that quarterback. You will die on that island with Patrick Graham's defense not protecting the middle of the field. You will die on that island thinking Caillou Blue Kelly is the next coming of Richard Sherman when he is getting beat after week after week after week. Rashee Rice, first game of the 2025 season, owned Caillou Blue Kelly. Not taking away anything from Rashee Rice, but you would think there'd be a little rust being away from football for almost a year. And Caillou Blue Kelly goes out there and still gets owned. And he's talking about the next game. Pete Carroll, your next game is in 2 weeks. Your next game is in 2 weeks. I don't know what needs to change because a lot of shit needs to change. New quarterback, new team, new coaching staff. A lot of shit needs to be changed. A lot of shit needs to be changed, you guys. A lot of things need to be changed. Where do you start? Do you start at Pete Carroll? Do you start at Pete Carroll? And I said, and the conversation I had when we hired with Pete Carroll with another Raider fan, he asked me, and I had to think, now looking back at it, it makes sense. What's the end game with Pete Carroll? He is 74 years old and he does not have time for a rebuild. The problem is the Raiders need to go into a full rebuild. But the problem is their head coach does not have time for a rebuild. He does not have, he is 74 years old, you guys. He does not have time for a rebuild. The other problem is your star defensive end, Max Crosby, doesn't have time for a rebuild. He's trying to go win himself a Super Bowl ring. So Raiders, what do you do here? What you do is you got to blow this thing up completely. Mark Davis, I know you don't want to hear this, but you have to blow this shit up completely. And I'm talking about not just firing the regime. You might have to trade some players and build a new foundation. Build a new foundation. Reggie McKenzie, the thing is, Mark Davis, you've seen it happen before with Reggie McKenzie and the 2014 draft. That little window of 2014, 2015, 2016, you've seen what it looks like to build a foundation. But you know what's crazy, Mark Davis? You blew that shit up. In 2017, you blew it up. Now, you could argue Jack Del Rio blew it up himself by letting go Bill Musgrave. But the thing is, Jack Del Rio, star quarterback at the time, was in favor of letting go Bill Musgrave and putting Todd Downing as the offense coordinator. We've seen how that shit went. They went from a top 5 offense to 17th overall ranked offense in 2017. And then, Mark Davis, that wasn't enough for you. You wanted to fire Jack Del Rio after his staff, after he gave you the first winning season in over 15 years, 20 years, whatever the case may be, since 2002. Your first playoff appearance since 2002, and yet the season after that, because it didn't go his way, you fire him to bring the Nostalgia Act to try to reel Raider Nation to go to Las Vegas. You gave John Gruden all the power, 10-year contract. He's basically the general manager. Reggie McKenzie is out. It is Gruden time. He sticks with Derek Carr as the quarterback. Now, in year 4, in 2021, it looked like things were starting to head in the right direction. But then it was John Gruden's emails. Then it was the Henry Ruggs situation. And then you bring in Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. He lets go Derek Carr with no plan B. No plan B. Which then sets this team even further back. Because, yes, we are still searching for a quarterback. Did we have one? We had a mid-average quarterback for 9 years that was not going to beat Kansas City, that was not going to win you a game in the playoffs, unless this defense was number one and he had the best weapons on the team. What I wanted after DC was let go was Josh McDaniels to grow a pair and to draft our future. He said he wanted Bryce Young. I didn't want Bryce Young because of the measurables. I wanted CJ Stroud. Yes, you guys can say CJ Stroud looks terrible right now. Houston's old offensive line is nasty. I think anybody could have said that before the season started, the Houston Texans were in trouble. CJ Stroud was going to be running for his life because he has no offensive line. Josh McDaniels doesn't. Dave Ziegler had a trade in place to go get CJ Stroud. McDaniels shut the door on that. Eventually got himself fired. We go out, win some meaningless games with Antonio Pierce. We miss out on Jaden Daniels. Hey, yeah, we got Brock Bowers. I love Brock Bowers. But the thing is, you guys, you need to start by drafting that first-round quarterback and you build around him. I don't want to build a team while we're still waiting for a quarterback. We're watching the guys like Drake May kill it with New England. Are we going to watch Cam Ward in year 2 or year 3 kill it before we hit the Raiders, hit their senses to go get a young, polished quarterback that you can possibly have some faith in, have hope in? People's like, well, the first-round quarterback won't change nothing. It won't. But what did Derek Carr give us in 2014? He gave us hope. Yeah, that season was terrible. Finished 3-13. But what did we have? We had hope that if we could build around this guy, the team will look different. And what do? They built around Derek Carr. And in 2016, he had an MVP caliber season that unfortunately ended his season. We are due, nation. We are due for a first-round quarterback. And if we got to lose every single game for the rest of the year, will it be hard on us? It will. But I'm trying to secure our quarterback of the future. I want the Raiders to secure the quarterback of the future, whether that is Sellers, Mendoza, Moore. I don't care. We need a change at the quarterback position. That's where it starts. Do we need a whole lot of shit change? Yes. But that is where it starts. It's locating your quarterback. Also, I don't even think Pete Carroll makes it next season. I don't know if I want him here next season. I don't even know if I want Chip here next season. Because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And it's right there on the television. It's right there on the television. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Because why is JPJ being benched before Geno Smith? JPJ is not leading the league in interceptions. JPJ is not the reason why the offense can't get going. Why are we benching JPJ, Pete Carroll? Because you just left it at that. You benched him and you left it at that. You're like, yep, we took him out. And you left it at that. Why are we benching JPJ, Pete Carroll, before we benching the other starters? Answer me that, Pete. Egotistical Pete. And then you want to, again, you're getting attitude with them with the Raiders media. You're getting attitude with the Raiders media like they're not supposed to be asking these hard-hitting questions. Pete Carroll, your team is shit. Your team is trash. How you guys won 2 games this year is beyond me. How you guys beat the Patriots, beyond me. And I get how you guys beat the Titans. You guys are just lucky the Titans are a worse team than you are. How you beat the Patriots, though? Man. Guess is better than mine. Appreciate you, CGR. I don't know where we go here, you guys. The Raiders fall to 2-5 on the year. I'm telling you right now, they should just lose every single game. Just lose every single game. You guys are saying, I know some would say, well, the season's not over. We're just 2-5. We go on a 3-game win streak. We're back to 5-5. We're not going to go on a 3-game win streak, you guys. We got Jacksonville next. And people was like, well, Jacksonville's not that good, bro. Yeah, they got blown out by the Rams. The Rams are a better team than the Jags. We're not a better team than the Rams. If somehow the Raiders beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, then the Jacksonville Jaguars are just that trash. But we have Jacksonville. We have Denver on Thursday Night Football in Denver. And then we got the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football at home in Allegiant. They can easily lose the next 3 games. Fuck it, bro. Go lose every single game. If that's what it takes to go get the quarterback of the future, because Josh McDaniels didn't trade up, and he was in prime position to trade up. AP won meaningless games and made it hard for us to trade up. What is it going to take for this organization to realize maybe we need to draft a franchise quarterback and build around him? Not build a team and wait for this team to be quarterback ready when they're never going to be quarterback ready. Because, guys, look at the division we are in. Look at the division we are in. We got to deal with Mahomes, Herbert, and Bo Nix for damn near another decade. Damn near another decade. And we don't want to go get a quarterback that's going to compete with those guys. Instead, we want to go get Geno Smith. We want to go get Jimmy Garoppolo. We want to draft a 4th-round quarterback in Aiden O'Connell, hoping he could be the next coming of Tom Brady. That's not how this shit works. If you're going to take a risk on drafting a 4th-round quarterback, why couldn't you take that risk, Josh McDaniels? I'm getting mad at a guy who's not even here, but that's what I'm talking about, you guys. If they're going to take a risk at trading for Geno Smith, at making these moves at quarterback, why not take a risk at drafting a 1st-round quarterback who can be the successor to whatever quarterback you bring in? It starts there. It starts there. And then you can build the offensive line up. And then you can go get some more weapons at the wide receiver position. And then you can build up the defense. You know why? Because you got your quarterback already in the building. The most important position in football. But the Raiders organization doesn't know that. I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you. We might lose. Will we lose Max Crosby? I don't know. Will he request a trade? I don't know. But I know if I was him, I would have requested a trade because I want to go win a ring before I retire. And I've seen this story. He got, Max Crosby's been here since 2019, you guys. He's seen this shit before. He knows how this story is going to end. He knows how this season is going to end. Will he request a trade? I don't know. Will I be shocked if he does? No. I would not blame him. if he requests a trade. I'm not even blaming Jacoby Myers. Jacoby, go somewhere else that you can go win, because you're not going to win here. Shirley, shout out to you. The Raiders don't know players, too many silly ass coaches. And that's where I go to Mark Davis. I don't know who the hell in the building told him that it was a good idea to hire Josh McDaniels. I blame the nation for wanting AP to be hired, but honestly, you guys, was AP that bad? Maybe game management he was. But the thing is with AP, yes, he was an unproven guy. He never had head coaching experience. But we have people who had head coaching experience still come in here and shit the bed. We have a Hall of Fame head coach in Pete Carroll right now, you guys, that has came in and shit the bed still. Chip Kelly, who was a head coach, as our offensive coordinator, is shitting the bed on offense. I'm not putting no blame on. I mean, you could put blame on Spytek, but I'm not calling him to be fired. I want Spytek to go get the head coach he wants. Hopefully, ain't no bum ass coach. I want to see what Spytek can do without an egotistical head coach at the helm. And I say that because he drafted Ashton Jeanty at 6. Only got 7 touches today. He drafted Jack Bech at 2 in the second round. Not getting any action. He drafted Charles Grant and Caleb Rogers. They're not getting no action. The only guy that's getting action is Dante Thornton Jr. And he's not even ready to be getting the type of reps he's getting. Make it make sense. We can call his draft class questionable, but it's only questionable because the head coach is not utilizing the players that Spytek has drafted. Anyways, you guys, I'm going to get out of here. Go to Just Raiders Babies podcast. That's my guy, Jay Raider. I will be popping up on his show in about 20 minutes. We're going to go live at 2 o'clock. I'm going to be popping up for his post-game recap show. So you guys go tune in to the Just Raiders Baby podcast. I'll see you guys over there. We are out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a full recap show. I think I'm going to have my other Primo come on. He is actually my cousin, but he's also a Raider fan. He's going to come on tomorrow, and we're going to be recapping this dumpster fire of a game. And so far, this dumpster fire of a season, because this season is a wrap, you guys. Toss it up. Get ready for basketball. If you guys are basketball fans, I know most Raider fans are Lakers fans and Warriors fans. Hey, get ready for basketball season, you guys. Hey, that's why I'm wearing my Celtics shirt. I'm ready for basketball. I'm ready to be happy because the Raiders, they can't make me happy. So I'm going to be getting ready for a team that can at least bring me some joy during the season. And yeah, you guys, so I'll see you guys on Jay Raiders channel. Go over there. Just Raiders Baby podcast. We'll be on at 2. See you guys later. Peace.